This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
A representative from PennDOT explains why they're looking for different sources of funding, including tolls, next. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. I'm Ken Carr, and let's get to today's information. On Monday, State Representative Tara Toohill expressed concerns about proposed tolls on two bridges on Interstate 80 in the area, one over the Nescapec Creek in Black Creek Township, and the other over the Lehigh River in Whitehaven. Now Ken McLean, PennDOT's Alternative Funding Program Director, addresses some of those concerns. PennDOT needs funding. There's projects that need to get done. You mentioned a gap, and I guess one of the ways to handle this is tolls. If you could just talk about that a little bit.
Our highway and bridge program is currently funded with 74% of our revenues are derived from either the state or federal gas taxes. So that is problematic for us. Gas taxes have proven to be a very non-reliable source of revenue lately. With the advent of greater fuel efficiencies with regular combustible engine passenger cars, then you had the creation of hybrid vehicles, which are even much more fuel efficient than combustible engine cars, and now you have all electric vehicle, and then you enter into where we are today with a worldwide pandemic. So we have COVID-19 that set in, and we've had reduced numbers of people traveling, which significantly dipped our revenues on a temporary basis. But it's just changing travel patterns. We're working with economists to try to figure out, what is the post-pandemic world going to look like? Are people going to be traveling as much as they were prior to the pandemic? And if they're not, certainly that has an impact on our revenues as well. Going back to the electric vehicle situation that we have in the auto industry, has committed roughly $225 billion to the evolution towards electric vehicles. GM was the most dramatic of all. About a month ago, they made an announcement that they are going to halt the production of combustible engine vehicles. So they're going to move toward all electric vehicles by the year 2035. So our revenues have been impacted gradually over the last couple of years because of this trend, and we just can't afford to get caught flat-footed. As I said before, many of our bridges are aging in condition. These interstate bridges that we're specifically talking about, they were designed in the 1950s and built in the 1960s, many of them in the early 60s. They are 60 plus years old, and they were only designed to last that long. So we've done a pretty good job of maintaining them to expand their life cycle, but they're coming to the end of their useful life cycle, and PennDOT has to provide some significant resources to them.
But is this a permanent fixture? I know you're talking about over 30 years in that, but is this something that the funds are being used for these specific bridges, or is this something where PennDOT will be using this revenue all over the state and these tolls are here to stay on these bridges?
When toll dollars are collected, on these bridges, there are a couple things that we have to do. So our number one priority is to use those toll dollars to fund the physical construction of those bridges. So it would be funding the design, the environmental permitting, the physical construction, the construction inspection. And then we have to certify to the Federal Highway Administration that we do have an active maintenance plan in effect. So as I said before, through this P3 contract, we would be teaming with a development entity, and they would be also responsible for structural maintenance of those bridges for a 30-year period. So that's a cost that the tolls are going to use as well. We are also going to look at a reserve contingency fund, creating them for this program, simply because so all of the bridges that are tolled, they'll have a certain percentage of money going into a pot of money to be able to account for the unaccountable. So say there's a landslide that closes the road leading up to the bridge and we can't collect those toll revenues. That reserve funding account can be used to to make those payments to that development entity, because we are going to be contractually obligated to make those payments over 30 years.
This question really is, I read one concern saying, listen, there's a lot of industrial parks around here. That's a lot of traffic. They're going to be affected by these tolls. From what I'm hearing you're saying is you have to maintain the roads, and part of the attraction to maybe some of these companies is having good infrastructure within the state to travel on, and that helps pay for that.
So you hit the nail on the head. Some of these, businesses and trucking industry that may be opposing the paying of a toll, they are going to be the direct beneficiary of having a new, predictable, safe bridge in place for years to come. It's those bridges that allow them to do business in the Commonwealth right now, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we keep them in a state of good repair, and they're at the end of their life cycle, so they need to be replaced.
Today's news feature is brought to you by Hampton Inn by Hilton Hazleton. Looking for a night away in the Cunningham Valley? Book your stay vacation today at Hampton Inn by Hilton Hazleton by calling 570-454-3449.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service. On Wednesday, it's mostly sunny with a high in the 50s. Wednesday night is mostly cloudy with a low around 40 degrees. Thursday is partly sunny with a high near 60. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low in the 40s. Friday, a chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a high in the 50s. Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low in the 30s. Saturday is mostly sunny with a high in the 40s. And Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 30 degrees. Here's the SSPTV Standard Speaker scoreboard. The Hazleton Area High School boys won the District 2 AAA Team Swimming Championship. The girls finished third as a team. 5 individual swimmers will represent the Big HA at states as well as their relay teams. A list of all the gold medal winners is up on your screen. Maddie Dando won the District 11 AA backstroke title for Marion and will compete at states. 2 local wrestlers qualified for the state championships after the East Super Regionals and clinched state medals this year. At the Super Regional, Tamaqua Nate Wickersham was second at the AA level at 215 pounds, and Hazleton area's Bryce Molinaro was fourth at 189 pounds at the AAA level. In girls basketball, Hazleton area was able to hold off Scranton in the semifinals of the District's 2, 4, 6A sub-regional playoffs. The Lady Cougars will face Wilkes-Barre area for the title this Friday at 5:30 p.m. at the Mohegan Sun Arena. A buzzer beater ended the North Schuylkill girls season in the District 11 4A playoffs against Allentown Central Catholic. Coming up, a local kid is cooking through the pandemic. Janine Lassant talks with Chef Jake. In sports, how athletics helped a NASA flight director in her life.
SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Mary M. Bradley, age 93 of Freeland. Mass will be held on Thursday at 10 a.m. at St. Anne's Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the McNulty Funeral Home. Joseph John Goffa, age 55 of Sugarloaf Township, who passed away on January 19th. Mass will be held on Saturday at 10 a.m. at St. John Bosco Roman Catholic Church. Friends may call Saturday from 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. at the Harmon Funeral Home and Drums. David Eck Malfatti, age 63 of Fern Glen. Services will be private under the Harmon Funeral Home. June Arlene Stauffer, age 90 of Springfield, Ohio, who passed away on February 24th. Services will be private in Ohio. Dennis O. Dunsey Tomlin, age 65 of Hazleton. Mass will be held on Friday at 10 a.m. at St. Teresa of Calcutta Church in Monoy City. Friends may call Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The James P. Hogney Funeral Home in Monoy City is in charge of arrangements. And Leona S. Yule Schaefer, age 91 of Weston. Mass will be held on Friday at 10 a.m. at Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Church in Weston. Friends may call Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The Harmon Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Today's social and obituary report is brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. Call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.